Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd answer a question today, which is, a lot of people have asked me why my R34 is automatic and what is wrong with me. I can assure you there's a few things wrong with me, but we'll get straight into it. So December 2016, obviously you guys have seen my previous R34 and how that ended up. If you haven't, I'll show you how that ended up shortly. So I was driving around my MR2. Absolute awesome car. I actually love this car to bits. I've still got it today. I'll probably never get rid of it, to be honest with you. It's just that real old school Japanese car that I absolutely love. So for those of you who don't know, I had an R34 for about 7, 8, 9 years. And in 2014 I was about to get married. 2015 I was about to get married. This happened in 2014. And just as I was about to get married, basically my R34 got stolen. It was used in a high-speed police chase and it smashed a cop car and all the rest of that. Here are some pictures of it before it got stolen. As you can see there, we had the same GT spoiler that we made for this Skyline, on my current one, sorry. So yeah, it was in really good condition. Absolutely loved this car. Can't really say much more than that, but it was like one of my first sports cars, so I absolutely loved it. But yeah, that's how it ended up. So what happened was insurance paid me out, and I ended up putting that money towards the wedding and stuff like that. So 2001 Series 2 Nissan Skyline R34 25 GT Turbo. This is back when R34s weren't costing, I guess, ridiculous money now. So now they're like 15, 16 grand and things like that. So I came across this one here. The guy wanted 9.5 for it, and I was a little unsure because I hate the Series 2 front bumper. It had no spoiler and it was automatic. So I was like, maybe not. So basically, this is how I viewed the car online on a sales site called Car Sales. I was weighing up my pros and cons, basically, and we'll go through them shortly. Basically, I was like, maybe, yeah, kind of. And then I started looking at all the stats of the car and I thought I'd be pretty stupid not to buy it. So it was completely stock, which is great, obviously. No one wants a car that's been heavily modified or anything like that. You want to do that work yourself. As I said, I hated the Series 2 front bumper. The plan was to always make an automatic car manual, and I hated the fact that it didn't have a spoiler. I know trivial stuff, but look, to me, it really bothered me. So basically, I started weighing up my options and going, well, do I buy this one or should I buy something else? Maybe a 370Z or 350Z, depending on how much I wanted to spend. But as I said, I had this hole that only an R34 could fill. So I needed to start looking for one. So I found this, obviously 9.5 grand the guy wanted for it. I wasn't really willing to pay that at this stage. So I was like, let's have a look at how things stack up. So it was the last of the R34s ever made, 2001. Series 2, so I had better interior, extra parts, obviously things that you don't get on the normal one. Completely stock, second owner in Australia, mountain of paperwork. Now, the colour of the car is WV Sparkling Silver. It's actually a GTR colour, but it's also a standard Nissan car too. And it represents only like 4.6% of R34s ever made. The cons, obviously, was the Series 2 front, automatic, and no spoiler. So that was a bit of a bummer, but I was willing to look past that. So, look, basically, I got the car. As soon as I got it, I pretty much started buying parts, pretty much as the car was being delivered to me. So I paid the guy on the Friday 7.5 grand, and the car got delivered to me on Monday, I think it was. And by that stage, I had already spent money on buying parts and things like that. I had to get it not complied, but I had to take it through our motor registration place here to make sure that it was roadworthy and things like that. I think in New South Wales and Melbourne and things like a pink or green or blue slip or something like that. So I basically started buying parts straight off the bat. The plan was to make it manual, make no mistake. But unfortunately, a few things happened which kind of put those plans on the back burner. To do with my health, and we'll get into that shortly. So I got the car, I got it all registered and things like that, and I was basically deciding what I was going to do with the car now. I knew I wanted to put nothing but Nismo parts on there and things like that, but I just obviously was easing back into having an R34 again. So as I said, my first probably direction I wanted to go with was changing the front bumper. Hated the Series 2 front bumper. Now I don't actually mind it. I think it suits sedans more than it does coupes, but I actually don't mind it now, and I wish I still had mine. I'll probably buy another one soon, eventually anyway. So basically we had the car now, and I was like, right, we've got to start modifying, we've got to start getting parts ready and things like that. It wasn't a bad car. I did enjoy it just as it was. It was very, I guess, understated. It didn't actually look like a 34 from the front, and with no spoiler or anything like that, it just, I don't know, it just kind of didn't have that R34 feel for me, if I'm honest. But everyone's different. So the plan was to start buying parts, and all Nismo parts obviously, and basically just get the car ready to start modifying it heavily and things of that nature. So as I said, I'm buying heaps of Nismo parts now, all genuine stuff. So that's probably first order I did from Japan there, and then I started buying handling parts. So I'm going to run through another video soon eventually, guys, in which I'm buying used Nismo parts and refurbishing them. So for example, you're about to see a picture pop up shortly of an exhaust, which basically looks brand new. However, it's not. I actually refurbished it. So along with that, I started buying some rare parts for the R34, like this DRV meter. We'll do an install on that shortly. But basically, I was going hand over fist trying to buy as many parts as possible. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I got lucky. Obviously, with my Speedo here, the automatic Nismo one, I only paid $250, $300 for that. Very rare. Again, lucky with my Nismo S2 in front. I paid $400 for a bumper bar that's selling for about $3,000 now, and you won't find a genuine one pretty much anywhere. So that's my exhaust there. As I said, it looks brand new, but I refurbished it. If I show you the before pictures of that, it's pretty crappy. Right, so let's get into why my car is still automatic and not manual. Late 2017, I woke up and I couldn't feel like 85% of my body. This is not a sob story for people to feel sorry for me. This is just telling you exactly what's happened. Turns out I ended up having multiple sclerosis. Basically, I had 40 lesions in my brain and 3 in my spine, and it just pretty much made me immobile. Basically, it affects everyone else differently. These are some of the symptoms there that you can see. Some of them I've got, some of them I don't. For example, continence problems. I don't pee my pants or anything like that. So basically, everyone's different in how they obviously deal with it. But obviously, at that stage there, my wife was pregnant with our now 19-month daughter, who's awesome. And basically, that happened to me. So in essence, I guess what I'm saying here is not only did this car obviously make me happy, but it also pulled me out of a very dark place mentally that I was in, with depression, anxiety, things like that, which was really important for me and obviously really valuable. So I guess we'll move forward with the obviously car now, and we'll run through obviously things that we've done up until this point. But to answer the question as to why my car is not manual, it's plain and simply that some days I can drive manual, some days I cannot, and I can't have a car that I'm daily driving being a car that I may not be able to drive every day. That's the reality of the situation. Not that I hate the automatic now. To be honest with you, I have never been beaten by a manual R34 that's had the same amount of work done as mine. Basically stock, bar up the boost, which says a lot about obviously the Nissan Tiptronic or automatic gearbox. So pretty much in a nutshell, I'm probably going to leave it as automatic, because as I said, it was one of the last R34s ever made. It is basically a very rare color. It's a Series 2. It's not worth me modifying it heavily when I can basically I've got all the parts to return it to stock, which means basically by putting nothing but Nismo parts on the car, I'm upping the value, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me as well. Genuine Nismo parts from Nissan are going to up the value of the car. If someone doesn't like that, then it can be reversed to stock standard, providing I can find a Series 2 bumper bar, which I won't have an issue with. So yeah, basically that's obviously why the car is going to stay automatic. Number one, my MS. Number two, basically I want to keep it as stock as possible in terms of reversing it back to how it originally rolled out of the Nissan factory. But we'll go through some other photos now of obviously the progression of the car up to date, and you guys let me know what you think. So I've showed you guys a fair amount of pictures obviously from the day I got the car up until now, when it had the Altia front bumper on it before we got the S-Tune, and also obviously with the Series 1 front bumper on there. So I'm not going to harp too much more on that stuff there, but look, I guess for me this video was basically about telling you guys a little bit about myself, and obviously where I'm at, and obviously what the plans are for the car. Like I said, obviously with my MS and stuff like that, I do get chronic fatigue most of the times, which means obviously doing videos and things like that sometimes fall by the wayside because I'm just too tired to do it, and obviously working full-time, being a husband, being a father, and also dealing with this illness, I tend to get very tired. So I guess in essence, you guys have seen where the car's come up to this stage. Plenty of pictures to show you guys where the car's gone and what direction we're heading in. You guys know how I want it to end up looking like and things like that. But I guess for me, I want to tell you guys something, is that we all go through different things in life, and sometimes people see it as not being fair, and sometimes it's not really right, or what we think is right. It's important for you guys to have something, in my opinion, that I guess brings you happiness, brings you joy. For me, it's my family, first and foremost, my daughter, my wife, my parents and all that, my dogs. But secondly to that, your family is not always with you all the time. So for example, what brings me, I guess, huge amounts of joy is my car. I'm a car guy, always have been, always will be, and even when you're not feeling the best and mentally you're not obviously having a good day and things like that, jumping in the car from time to time and just obviously hitting the throttle and hearing the boost, or hearing the exhaust or anything like that, and just the general feeling of the steering wheel even, can obviously make you happier and make you have a better day. I'm a huge advocate for obviously guys speaking up who are depressed. There's a stigma involved with guys, and obviously not being able to talk about their mental feelings and inner feelings and things like that. Mental illness is very real, and it's taken me obviously for this illness to hit me in order for me to understand it. I've never got it before, but it's taken this illness to hit me for me to understand it. So my advice to you guys who maybe are dealing with stuff is to just reach out to your local car community. Give yourself some projects in order to make yourself feel better. Even something as simple as changing parker lights on your car to LED or something like that can make a massive difference in how you feel, and obviously kind of bring you back down to the level that you need to be, without your mind running wild. I'm not here to be a motivational speaker or anything like that. I'm just here telling you guys about my experiences and what's happened in my life to bring us to where we are right now. So that being said, guys, I'll leave it here. Sorry that it's been kind of a long video, but I had a few things to get through. We are going to be doing more work on the car. I've got some really exciting stuff coming up. Really exciting. I can't actually wait to start moving on some of this stuff. I'll probably do it closer to Christmas when I get some time. to be able to obviously take some video and obviously add some parts and things like that. I'm sure most of you know that work and things like that gets crazy. I am expecting my second child in December, so I'm absolutely pumped for that as well. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna put the number up there in the description for Lifeline and things like that. I'm sure you guys know it, but if this video can even reach one person and obviously help them through a tough time, then it's worth it. It's worth all the time in the world. But as I said, guys, for those of you going through some tough times, give yourself some projects with your car. Connect with the car community. Nothing is more therapeutic, in my opinion, than going for a long drive, playing some beats. And I don't mean depressing music, I mean playing some songs that you love, that you can vibe to, and obviously get your head straight. It'll do you a world of good. So look, this is me signing off. As I said, those of you who are going through stuff, I feel you. Those of you who are not, or who have yet to, or don't really understand, look, just spare a thought for everyone. Every day people are fighting battles that you know nothing about. And again, this is not like a motivational speaking thing. This is just me telling you about life in general. So look, be kind to one another, guys, and just enjoy yourselves, enjoy your cars, and look, take care of one another. Take care, guys.